Some of us got completely wrecked and lost a lot of money in 2017 with cryptocurrency. Now in 2021, are we seeing the same thing happen? And is cryptocurrency and Bitcoin actually a scam? Or is it not as risky as you think? Keep watching. Hey guys, my name's Ravi and welcome back to Personal Finance with Ravi Sharma. On this channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, real estate, and financial independence, looking at passive income and looking at ways to use our cash, which is trash, to actually generate some real wealth, especially in 2021. If you're new here, definitely smash that subscribe button and definitely drop me a like for the video because now we need to show this time-sensitive information to more people on the internet. So is cryptocurrency a risky investment in 2021? I actually believe it's not. In fact, I believe that it's more risky not to have cryptocurrency in 2021 than to actually have it. And the reason for that is because we are in what is the most bullish year of a 4-year Bitcoin cycle. Now, later on in this video, I'm going to share with you year by year what sort of return you would have got if you just invested in Bitcoin over the last 10 years. But what's more important here is that people are so focused on the traditional ways of making money, the traditional way finance works, that they miss out on huge opportunities in every single market. Now, for me, I've invested a lot into cryptocurrency in real estate and collectibles. So I talk about things I actually know about and learn and research about. So if you are interested, definitely subscribe down below. And if you're looking at getting started with cryptocurrency and investing into it in Australia, you should definitely go into the link in the description below with CoinSpot. It's the cryptocurrency exchange that I personally use for all of my accounts, and I really love their user interface. Makes it so easy to get set up, and it's really easy to figure out what is buy and what is sell. If you are interested in a step-by-step tutorial, I'd love to make that. But for now, go in the link in the description below, sign up, get $10 free Bitcoin, and you're loving life. What I think is that a lot of people are misinterpreting two common things, which is they think risk equals volatility. And at the end of the day, with cryptocurrency being so new and being so misunderstood, of course you're going to get volatility. Most people don't even know what Bitcoin and what Ethereum actually does. When it comes down to the nitty-gritty of, how these projects actually work, it's actually fascinating to see that we are at the birth of what is the next revolution. When it comes to what happened with the internet boom and what companies were existing there, and you see across all your socials, if you invested $1,000 into Amazon stock or Google stock, you would be worth X amount this year. However, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is no different. In fact, the returns you would get having put $1,000 in 5 years ago or 10 years ago would be significantly more today and would have outperformed every other asset class. Now, of course, I love real estate, and with real estate, you get something that's not really available with cryptocurrency at the risk profile that I'm comfortable with, but it's leverage returns, right? With leverage returns in real estate, most of the banks are taking up most of the risk because they give you 80, 90, 95% of the actual purchase price, and you get the benefit of paying 5 or 10% on a property that's actually worth a lot more. And so when you get those returns, you're getting it at leveraged amounts. If you're interested in my sort of strategy around how I'm using real estate to actually go into cryptocurrency and take advantage of the business cycle, definitely leave me a comment down below. I'd love to make that video for you guys. Something really important to understand here is with Ethereum and Bitcoin and a lot of other cryptocurrencies hitting all-time highs, which is basically meaning it's never been this high. It means that if you had invested at any point since the inception of that cryptocurrency, you would actually be in profit today. There are not many, if any, assets that are out there where you can say confidently across at any point in time, did you buying that asset, you would actually be in profit today. It's very exciting, but it's also interesting to understand why it's happening. A lot of people, when they get introduced to something new, and you might be one of these people, that have held back from adaptive investing. What I mean by adaptive investing, it's looking at new ways to make money. And of course, I say on this channel, yes, it's about making money because money leads to more choice, and more choice allows you to follow what you're passionate about, what you're actually happy about. And for me, I don't get married to anything. I don't feel like I'm emotionally attached to the real estate I buy. I buy things because it makes sense in terms of the return on investment I get. And right now, I'm super bullish on cryptocurrency. Now, the reason why I actually think cryptocurrency and investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum is actually not risky, and again, it's not financial advice, but when you're using common sense and logic, when you have a cryptocurrency or an asset that goes up and down by 30% in a day, that's actually quite normal in crypto. But when you see that in real estate or you see that in the stock market, you're actually thinking the market's collapsing, it's over, we're going to zero. And so that's something to understand when you're coming into something so new, because it is misunderstood and the market cap for a lot of these projects are very small. A lot of movement in money can actually fluctuate the price quite a bit. And that is volatility. That doesn't mean it's necessarily called risk. When I talk about risk, I'm talking about cash, fiat currency, the dollars that you may have in your pocket or your wallet. That is risky. And that's why I've been saying is that although none of this is financial advice, it should be there to prompt you to start looking at alternative assets and looking at investing as a whole. Right now, if you're looking at just saving your money, you're saving fiat currency, which, by the way, from 1913 to today has lost 96% of its value. 96%. Let's just take that into consideration. That means $1 back then, what it could purchase for you is now equivalent to 4 cents. You're telling me fiat currency and saving that garbage trash is actually not risky and that's the safest way to play it? I don't think so. The trouble is that most people get caught up with,
the volatility of a market,
but don't actually look at how that averages out on a long-term trend. It's like when I was looking at regional markets when I invested in property a few years ago. When I'm looking at those markets, at that point, they were moving up by 10%, down by 10%, but they sort of moved in that right trend. If the fundamentals are there and it's a good project, you will do exceptionally well. The most of the money though is made the early adopters. A lot of people could have made a lot more money, including myself, if I had invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum like 5-6 years ago versus now when they've hit all-time highs. But when all-time highs are around, most people sort of get defensive and they say,
well, now that it's hit all-time highs, can it go any higher?
What happens if it crashes from here?
And that's the ability for you to look at what you're able to risk, what you're able to invest, and in line with your strategy. If you need a hand in figuring out what your strategy is, especially when it comes to real estate and when you're looking at alternative investments, where you're placed, it might be a good idea to book a strategy session, which you can find down in a link in the description, which actually takes you to my website and allows you to book in a call directly with me. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what asset class it is, you've got to look at risk and you've got to look at your strategy and risk profile. Now, when we look at Bitcoin and we look at the returns that we can get, it's actually going to blow your mind. Let's just have a look at some of these numbers. So this chart is just the Bitcoin annual returns. And when you look at 2011, yes, it would be amazing if we purchased at 30 cents. It had a growth to $4.72, which is unbelievable. The fact is that we're not going to cover too much in terms of those numbers, but what is more interesting is to see how each year we have seen growth after growth, and then every 4 years we have a correction. So we saw that in 2014, and we saw that in 2018. Now, it's not by coincidence that we see these numbers, because every 4 years is when we have the cycle. We are in 2021 currently, which means we are going to see the biggest returns on something like Bitcoin if history proves correct and these trends play out. So that means why I'm so bullish on cryptocurrency is because the timing is everything. When you look at time in the market versus timing the market, if you can get both, you're gonna do really well. And I've seen that happen through real estate, through collectibles, and through cryptocurrency. And this is why I advocate for you to learn more. And I try and bring out content that's, not biased one way or the other, and that you are here to actually start questioning the system, understanding that you need to look at alternative things and learn about new spaces. It's not just about, FOMOing in. I would say that if you're really looking at this space, definitely do your research. Look at YouTube. There are heaps of awesome people out there. If you're after who the best guys are, I'll definitely be making a video about that. But if we look at 2021, already 4 months in, we are up 200% versus the year closing date last year. So if we are going to see what is Q1 replicate over the next 3 quarters, we could see Bitcoin closer to $150,000 to $200,000 a coin. Now, when you put that into perspective and you see where we are currently, when you see that we're at all-time highs, yes, there's an element of risk. However, we are in price discovery mode. We have nothing ahead of us, which means there's no resistance, and the price is really dictated by the attention that it gets. Now, when a lot of smart people like Elon Musk go out there and purchase large sums, and I'm talking billions worth of actual Bitcoin, it means that you need to start paying attention to this, guys, because this is going to be massive. If I was personally starting in this market and I thought, okay, wow, there's a lot happening, markets are going crazy, there's so much growth, is it too late, is it too early? I would start small, right? Look at what you can risk. And I'm talking, 100, 200 bucks, maybe 1,000, maybe 5,000, depending on what you're comfortable with. And if you do want to get started, start on the easiest exchange out there, especially if you're in Australia. CoinSpot is what I use. It's how I started a few years ago, and it's actually a no-brainer. So when you are looking at it, you can get $10 free Bitcoin, especially with the link in the description below. But that's where I would start. I would look at trying to invest so that I can start working on those investing muscles. You may be someone who's been very conservative up until this point. You've saved a lot of that money. And I talk about mindset. I've got an episode on my podcast that you should definitely go check out. It's on this YouTube channel as well. And if you start improving those muscles and strengthening those, then you're able to go and take on more risk later on if it's in line with your strategy. If you have enjoyed this video, definitely leave me a thumbs up for the video so we can share this to more people that really need to hear it, especially in 2021. So after hearing all that, do you really think having money in cryptocurrency is more riskier than having it in fiat currency sitting in your bank? I'll let you make that decision. But for me, I think it's fairly clear. I'm investing my money this year and I'm making use of what I have, being cash, which I believe is trash, into investments that I think have long-term potential and huge return on investment. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.